Okay, we're coming to the time when we're going to have the Bank of Canada meeting next week. And this means that it's time to give you some thoughts and advice. Variable rate update. Currently, the prediction on the marketplace is definitely around the holding of rates. The holding of rates is backed up by the idea that inflation now this month dropped. So we're somewhere around, by all reports, a little bit higher than 3%. It's worthy to note that inflation is only high because of the cost of interest. So it means that basically inflation is staying high because there is a cost of interest on a lot of things, making it higher. So higher interest rates make for higher inflation. Go figure. The other thing that I do not think the Bits talked about that's a big deal, and I'm happy to see that this will probably not cause a problem, is that inflation obviously is a result of too much supply in the uh, in the in the consumer economy. And what I mean by that is that basically there's too much money, which is a result of governments printing money. And I think we can go into a deep dive of that, but I think a lot of people still don't understand. When a government, the federal government makes promises, there is three ways that you control a government budget. The first way is exactly as the name suggests, by budgeting. I have this amount coming in, and so I have to make my expenses come underneath that. And so that's how people think about personal financial budgets. Now, the next way they're going to increase income is the stuff we don't like is taxation. So we go, okay, they're going to increase, they're going to tax an income class, they're going to tax a product, and you hear governments talk about, something being net neutral. So it might mean that um, they're installing a new transit system, but they're also putting a carbon tax in, and so the cost of the carbon tax goes towards the cost of the transit system, so it's net neutral. That's what they mean by that. And so that's obviously poses two problems, those types of budgeting, because when you only have a certain amount coming in, obviously programs get cut, people get upset. Oh my gosh, you're cutting this program, that program. Then the other side of it, hey, the only way to do it is increase income. Increasing income is taxation. People get upset about taxation. So the third way the government makes a budget balance is by deficits. People don't realize deficits is not necessarily taxation. Deficits is them just increasing the money supply, them going and just deciding, hey, we're going to put more money into the marketplace, and we're going to have a deficit. Now, if you are $20,000 short in your budget per year, okay, you go into debt or something like that, and that the government does that too by different bonds and things like that. But the deficit's funded by a lot of way by them just increasing the money supply. We're just going to go to the printers, the Bank of Canada, downtown Ottawa. We're going to have them print more money, and that's going to cover these programs. And so everybody forgets that third thing is about the easiest political thing to do lots of times, because it doesn't initially affect anybody. But when there's more money in the system, the costs of goods go up, and that's inflation. The problem, and I just don't see enough people talking about this very, very important concept. No matter what you do, increasing interest rates, the money doesn't go away. Like the money is still floating around the economy. So inflation is not a result of by putting interest rates, it might slow growth, but it doesn't change what's already there. If your pool is full of water, yeah, okay, the point can be made. I got to shut up the tap. When I shut up the tap, it's not going to overflow. But the pool is not going to drain unless I drain the pool. So this is what we're talking with inflation. So it's good to know that it seems like there's going to be a rate pause either way. The other thing affecting things you have to watch is the job growth. And we've talked about a lot of it this year. Job growth being a result of you get people on the retirement age adding a secondary job, and then you get people that might be families, going to two incomes. So I don't think that's positive job growth, but that has been the justification for sticky inflation and job growth, really stats that don't matter, but and in fact are relatively negative stats. So it looks like they're going to hold rates. That's the prediction. So we're talking about the feeling right now by most economists is that they can hold rates until about summertime. If they don't start decreasing rates in summertime, there's going to be immense pain. And one very popular economist, which is CIBC's economist Benjamin Tollage, who I would say widely felt to be the smartest of all of them, I would say. He believes that the Bank of Canada will drop their interest rates by 1.5% by next December. I think that's ambitious, but I admit he is smarter than I am. So I put more stock in his opinion than mine, to be quite frank with you. So that's where things are going. There is still some massive housing supply issues that could be an interesting story coming up here. So hold tight. Looks like things are going to hold strong. 6 months, things are going to go down. Is that what they're saying? Should we believe them? I don't know. But that's our variable update for today. We're going to give you an actual update on what happens next week, October 25th being the date. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.